You ever have one of those nights where you think, yeah, my life's changed forever and there's nothing I can do about it? Because let me tell you, the call that came at 11:42 p.m. made me feel that in my bones, like a punch I never saw coming, right to the soul. My name's James Carter, and if you're listening, I want you to remember something. No parent should ever have to see their kid broken on the pavement, crying out for help while grown men in uniform laugh about it. But that's what happened to my daughter, Isla. I'll get right to it. Two police officers yanked my little girl from her car during a routine stop, slammed her down so hard she cracked her face on the curb, punched her while she begged them to stop. Said she ran a red light, she didn't. Said she resisted, she didn't. I know because I raised her better than to talk back in a moment like that. And I've seen fear on people's faces before. 20 years as a Navy SEAL, you recognize the real thing. When I got to the scene, her eye was swollen shut, blood caked down her cheek, voice barely a whisper. They kept hitting me, Daddy. And those guys? Still laughing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Go through the system, right? Report it, get the footage, let justice handle it. Yeah, well, I tried. They said the body cam malfunctioned. Internal Affairs called it necessary force, and the folks at the precinct treated me like just another dad too broken to fight back. What they didn't know, what nobody in Oakwood realized, was that I don't ask for justice. I deliver it. And they touched the wrong girl. So let's back up a second, because the story doesn't start with violence, it starts with a phone ringing in the dark. I was half asleep, TV glowing, some game playing in the background. The number was unknown, and let me tell you, in my old line of work, unknown numbers at midnight mean nothing good. Officer Mendez, Oakwood PD, told me my daughter was in an incident. My heart stopped. You'd think a man who's jumped out of planes and cleared buildings would be calm as hell. My voice did go flat, that old dangerous calm, but inside, I was shaking. When I got to the scene, lights everywhere, yellow tape, neighbors whispering, I just ran. EMTs loading Isla into the ambulance, her face a mess of bruises, her beautiful braids half undone. Daddy, she tried to smile, but the pain twisted it. I climbed right in, held her freezing cold hand in both of mine, told her she was safe, and meant it with everything I had. But as she whispered what happened, 3 officers twisted her arm, cuffed her so tight it cut her wrist. I felt something old and cold inside me. Not rage, but the thing you get in war when you know the rules are gone. She said they laughed while they hit her. That laugh, it did something to me. In that ambulance, I promised her, I would not let them walk away from this. Hospital was chaos, beeping, crying, but all I saw was Isla. Dr. Patel, gentle and kind, documented every bruise, every abrasion, her voice steady, but her jaw clenched. X-rays, stitches, evidence. She handed me the card of an attorney who specialized in police misconduct. Get the body cam footage now, she warned. Don't give them time to lose it. We both knew what that meant. The next morning, I was at the precinct when the doors opened. Filing a complaint, requesting footage, the desk sergeant was all dead eyes and paperwork. Internal Affairs handles footage. Up I went, every step a fight to stay calm. Detective Keller, coffee stain on his tie, said all 3 body cams malfunctioned. I said, technical issues don't happen all at once, especially not when my daughter's got cracked ribs and a busted face. He called it necessary force, already reviewed. I could see it was a cover-up. He told me to let it go. And then twist time. I saw a young detective, crew cut, smirking across the room, like he knew exactly what happened to my girl. That's when I realized, this wasn't just a few bad apples. This was an orchard. I didn't sleep. I wrote everything down, names, badge numbers Isla remembered, what little I'd seen, all of it. In the military, we say intelligence drives operations. But here, I had almost none. What I did know, footage gets deleted fast unless flagged. So I gave myself 7 days. 1 week before all the proof disappeared. For help, I called Theo, an old SEAL buddy, tech wizard, the kind of friend you call when the world's gone sideways. We met at a greasy spoon, pancakes, and coffee, trading war stories until I told him what happened to Isla. He didn't ask if I was sure, just nodded and said, okay, but we do this smart. No traces. We made a plan, codenamed Daylight. 7 days to crack Oakwood PD's digital vault. Now, you know every hero's story's got to have an unexpected ally. Mine was Miss Shirley, my late wife's best friend, retired from the department, keeper of secrets and access codes. Her house, all lemon polish and family photos, became mission control. She handed me badge numbers, shift schedules, list of who to trust and who to avoid. The book failed my daughter, I told her. Then we write a new book, she replied. Theo set up shop in a rented office, cables everywhere, surveillance gear ready. He found an exploit. Their server had more holes than Swiss cheese. Turns out, the same officers who heard Isla had done it before. Theo pulled up file after file, routine stops, sudden violence, always edited or malfunctioned footage, always the same pattern. Then he found a hidden folder, insurance. Photos of terrified teens, some bloodied, some with drugs or guns planted in the frame, blackmail to keep families silent. Extortion, evidence of bribes, and $200,000 moved through crypto and gaming accounts. It wasn't just cops gone bad. It was organized crime wearing badges. And as if things weren't bad enough, they came for me. One night in my garage, 2 masked men jumped me, professional, not street punks. Tell your girl to keep quiet, or next time it's her. I fought back, but took a beating. The safe house wasn't safe anymore. I moved Isla to Shirley's high-rise, security cameras everywhere, and started playing possum, let them think they'd scared me off. But I wasn't backing off. I watched the officers, learned their routines, and found a weak link, Officer Ramirez. He transferred out, always in the background, eyes haunted. I cornered him, laid out what I knew. At first, he denied everything, but shame and guilt cracked him. Over coffee in a grimy diner, he confessed, they're protected, anyone who speaks up gets buried. He hadn't hurt kids himself, but he'd been complicit in silence. I asked him to wear a wire, to get the evidence on tape, for Isla and for all the others. After hours of talking, he finally agreed, but only if I called the shots. So here's where we went full cinematic. One night, a remote farmhouse wired top to bottom. Theo in a van, Shirley on comms, Ramirez the inside man. The corrupt officers, Wilson and Breener, arrived for a supposed payoff. Ramirez baited them, and they bragged about disabling body cams, threatening kids, blackmailing families, all of it. Confessions on tape, every word. When they realized it was a setup, I stepped from the shadows, calm as you please, boots crunching on gravel. Wilson went for his gun. Bad idea. I disarmed him in 2 moves, pinned him, zip-tied his wrists. Breener ran, but I tackled him, choked him out just long enough to restrain him. By the time the FBI rolled in, it was all over but the paperwork. Ramirez nodded at me, respect in his eyes. Theo whispered in my ear, we got it all. FBI agents took over, arrests, evidence, headlines. The next morning, I watched Wilson and Breener in orange jumpsuits on the news, their faces twisted in defeat. Isla, bruises fading, voice still shaky. Watch with me. I just want them gone, Dad, she whispered. Not famous. Just gone. And when she drove for the first time after, her hands trembled, but she finished that drive. Every day, a little further. Here's the part nobody tells you. Healing is slow. Isla checked every mirror, every lock, flinched at sirens, paced her room at night. I tried to help, told her about nightmares from my own deployments, about talking to the right people, letting yourself feel it. We practiced, driving a little, talking more. Eventually, she drove herself to school, her hand drifting to the glove compartment where I'd left my seal pin, a lucky charm, now hers. Keeps you strong, I told her. She squeezed it before starting the car, and in that moment, I knew she'd get through. A few days later, I returned to the abandoned farmhouse to collect our surveillance gear. The rain had started, washing away my footprints. Mission complete, but no extraction. Isla was safe, but the war wasn't over, not for us, not for other families in Oakwood, not for kids whose voices still weren't heard. Miss Shirley dropped by with peach cobbler, sat on the porch with me as dusk fell, told me Marion, my late wife, would be proud. You channeled rage into justice, not vengeance, she said. I wanted to believe her. I missed Marion every day. Sometimes I heard her voice when I didn't know what to say to Isla, when the world felt too sharp and ugly for one man to fix. A month passed. Isla got invited back to debate team. She hesitated. Being visible again is scary after trauma, but I told her, no rush. The light will be there when you're ready. One morning, she sat across from me at breakfast, healed but changed, determined. We okay? She asked as we pulled into the school parking lot. We're better than okay, I told her, and meant it. And that's the truth, isn't it? You can fight for justice, but what you really want is your family safe, your life whole again. I still watch Isla check the mirrors, still watch the shadows, but I see her strength, too, see her reclaiming her own story, 1 mile at a time. So, tell me, what would you have done in my shoes? Where do you draw the line between justice and vengeance, between letting go and fighting back? Drop a comment. Share your story. Because no community gets better until people start talking, and no justice is real unless it's for all of us.